Hello, everyone. I think I'm live. Normally there's a countdown, and there wasn't a countdown. So I'm going to assume I'm live. Hello, everybody who's going to be entering the room here. I'm using my cell phone today because we're going to have Crystal Popov join us and share with us some insights on enzymes and gut health, and I'm super excited about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of like pause, like hold up time a little bit here until Crystal pops on. And as soon as she pops on, I will be able to invite her and then we can go. Oh, she's there. Hey. Okay, thank you for being here. Let me try and add you in, Crystal. 1 second. Hey. Let's see. Where are you? Add you. Add you. There you go. So she's being added. Who's jumping on to attend here today. So I'm excited about this talk. There she is.
Hi, how are you?
So good. Crystal's at the airport, you guys.
I'm at the airport. I'm actually headed to Europe here in a little bit. But I am excited to educate on gut health. I know you wanted to kind of open and give some of your wisdom and why you were kind of drawn to this education. And then I will mute while you're talking, and then I will. I'd love to educate a little bit on why people are having digestive issues. Number one, and some really simple plant-based, vegan, really solutions to helping people that are having trouble with food allergies or lactose intolerant or gluten intolerant or feeling bloated or having indigestion. All these things are really related to the microbiome of your gut. So why don't you share what you're going to share, and then I will dive into a little bit of education.
Perfect. That sounds wonderful. I'm so happy you joined us and you're taking time out of this day for it. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay, my friends. Hello, Julie. Hello, everybody who's popping in. Thank you for being here. So yeah, before we kind of dove into some like real education that Crystal brings, I just kind of wanted to share a little bit of a synopsis on like what the gut microbiome actually is. And I feel that this is super important because when I became aware of this, my whole perspective shifted in regards to the kinds and the qualities of food that I want to include in my everyday meal and ultimately for my daughter to support and nourish her growing body. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, so like to break it down, the gut microbiome is literally like 100 trillion living microscopic organisms that exist in your GI tract.
Yep.
Okay, that's like, first of all, mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. Second of all, there's like thousands, maybe 1,000 different strains of the gut microbiome. There's 1,000 different kinds. And if you think about that, that also shows you the wide-ranging amount of things that we need to kind of support that's going on in there, right? So the thing with the microbiome as well is it's kind of split, right? Like there's the good bacteria and there's the bad bacteria. And the reason why that's important is because every single thing that we put into our mouth either supports the gut bacteria, the good gut bacteria, or it supports the bad gut bacteria, okay? And so what I've learned is that predominantly raw whole foods are what give the body the enzymes, the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals that it needs to allow the good bacteria to flourish. And the reason why this is important is because when the gut microbiome is at its most optimally healthy state, they call it like gut homeostasis, when it's in that place, then our body is now able to support brain health. It's able to support the immune system. It's able to prevent against infection. It's able to literally allow the body to be optimally healthy so that you can go about your day not thinking about pain, not thinking about anxiety, not thinking about gut and digestive problems. You're literally just operating in the most healthy place possible. But if we are eating foods that are not basically raw and whole foods, then what we're doing is we are supplying food to the bad bacteria. And when we feed the bad bacteria, there starts to be overgrowth. And things like everything that Crystal was mentioning at the beginning, like digestive problems, stomach issues, not being able to go to the bathroom often, addictions to sugar, weight gain, diabetes, like the list goes on, right? And the thing with that too is that once you start to get an overgrowth of bad bacteria, it starts to wear away at the lining of your intestinal tract. And then what happens is you can start to get like holes in there. And if you guys have heard about this, if you have, mention it below. And if you haven't, ask them questions. Because what can happen is like when you start to have the thinning of the lining of the intestinal tract, it's what they call leaky gut. And now you have like your stomach contents leaking into your body, into your bloodstream, that can obviously cause sicknesses of so many kinds. And this is the part that jazzes me up, because we're not educated about this. People don't know this. They just think that I'm just going to eat this pizza and everything's going to be fine. Well, you can enjoy it and everything will be fine. But if your body isn't given the proper enzymes to break that down, it can get stuck in your colon. It can get stuck in your intestines. And if it gets stuck in places, like if you also think about like your large intestine and you stretch it out, it's literally the size of a football field. Like that's crazy. And so if you think of it like winding and turning and twisting inside our body, it's so easy for that food that's not high in fiber, that isn't high in enzymes, to get stuck there, and it rots and it ferments and it's not good. And so if that leaks through the leaky gut into the body, that's problems. So I feel like I'm so passionate about this because I feel like from a young age, we can develop a healthy gut microbiome, which will protect and prevent all of these illnesses that we see out there today. And actually, I was reading an article today, a science article, that talks about like children with autism. And what they've started to do is take transplants, like fecal transplants, and these children are being cured of things such as autism, like mind blowing, right? And so obviously I'm fired up about this, and Crystal's fired up about this too. And so that is kind of like my synopsis of the gut. And like, if you guys want to know more, please ask questions and I'll read as we go on through. But Crystal's here to share more about the enzymes, because it's the enzyme component of things that literally allows the food to be broken down, to extract the nutrients, to allow ourselves to have those healthy poops and get everything out so nothing gets stuck. And so with that being said, let me see if anybody's asked some questions, Crystal, and then I'll give the floor to you because I even want to hear what you have to say.
Sounds
good. I'm going to look at my computer over here because it's a little bit easier. Hey guys, hey Rachel. Welcome, sister. Hello, Doris. Welcome, welcome. Julie. Julie, weed, seed, feed, and protect. I like that.
That's right.
Yes, I'm all about that. Okay, so no questions yet, but if you guys have questions, please bring them, and I welcome everyone. So
okay, so two things that I love that you said is, number one, you mentioned fecal transplant, which we haven't talked about before, but that's exactly what it sounds like. It's transplant of fecal matter from a healthy gut to someone with a not so healthy gut. So why does that work? Because when you have healthy fecal or healthy poop, right? Tylene, which is the gal that's educating me on enzymes, she's always like, I should sell my poop, you know? So it's just so healthy. She's been training in gut health for so many years. But the reason it does that is because the good bacteria in a healthy gut can actually overtake the bad bacteria. But in your own stomach, it's very hard to do. So why are we having more gut issues than ever before? What's happening in the world, and Brittany, I know I'm trying to get my phone stabilized here, but I know you eat healthy, and a lot of people, even if you're on the line and you eat healthy, you could still be eating a lot of cooked food. So let's talk about enzymes. So enzymes is a blanket catalyst, right? We have 3 different types of enzymes in the world. There's what we call metabolic enzymes. They do everything from blink our eyes to grow different things in our body. And then we have digestive enzymes, which I'm going to talk about. That's in the body. That is mostly in our digestive tract, very prevalent in our saliva. In our pancreas is really what holds most of our digestive enzymes. Those get released every time we eat a meal. So you eat a sandwich, you eat a hamburger, you eat a yummy pizza, and your pancreas is now going to release those different types of enzymes to break down every different type of food group. So if you're eating a pizza, let's say, you might have cheese on the pizza. So you need enzymes that break down dairy. You need enzymes that break down the carbs. You need enzymes that break down if you have any meats on it, if you have any obviously fats on it. So when you fully break down your food, so you break down your fats into fatty acids, your carbohydrates into simple carbs, you break down your proteins into amino acids, your body can use those things. They can use the fatty acid. They can use all those things as fuel and as building blocks. So let's talk about protein. We are a high protein eating society. Almost every diet right now contains massive amounts of protein, but our body can only break down so much protein. So athletes that eat a lot of protein because they're looking for the amino acid in that protein. So protein broken down fully is amino acids, which are then used to create collagen, build muscle, lots of different cool things, right? But if you don't fully break down proteins into amino acids, you develop uric acid crystals in the blood. It's unbroken down protein in the blood. Uric acid. This is why almost every athlete in mid-30s all of a sudden will develop arthritis. Arthritis, gout, uric acid in the blood. People will get a certain age where they'll roll out of bed and they'll step on the ground and all of a sudden they feel like there's glass in their feet, right? There's pins and needles in their feet. That's uric acid in the blood. Now your heart is really smart. Your heart is going to pump it to the extremities first. So most people will fill it in their fingers first. They'll fill it in their feet first. And that's your heart pumping it to the extremities to try to get the uric acid away from the heart. Now, how do we solve this problem? Number one, if you eat more raw, third type of enzymes, food enzymes, they're in everything fresh and living. So you eat raw carrots, you eat anything raw, it contains the enzymes to break itself down in your body. As soon as you cook those carrots, you may be eating a very healthy meal, but you now have cooked carrots, and there's a kind of a discrepancy on what temperature kills the enzymes, but it's about 116 degrees, let's say, Fahrenheit, will kill. I'm going to Germany, so I don't know. I just had to weigh my bags, and they were kilos. I'm like, they're like, how many kilos? I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, distracted very easily. So, what were we talking about? Uric acid, protein. Oh, when you cook those healthy foods, but you cook them over a certain degree, it's still healthy. There still is a lot of nutrients in that food, but your pancreas now has to do so much work to break down that food. Okay? So how do we solve this problem? We can all eat all raw, but I don't know about you, but I love my pizza. I love my hamburgers. I love cooked, warm foods, right? So if you can add more raw into your diet, we preach that. We love it. We're proud of you. Try to fill half your plate with raw fruits and vegetables, and you probably will never develop those diseases that come from unbroken down things in the body, right? Amylase is very prevalent in our saliva. Amylase breaks down carbs and sugars. So most of us don't chew our food enough. So as you chew your food more, we have so many gluten allergies out there. I just, in my theory, I think if we all chewed our food a little bit more, we wouldn't have as many allergies out there, right? So you can add more raw into your diet. The other thing you can do, and this is a solution that I recommend for anyone that eats cooked or processed foods, our lifespans are supposed to be getting longer, and they're actually coming shorter. And it's because we're at the end of our life, they're losing the ability to break down a food group, right? Milk is usually the first one to go. People become lactose intolerant. They just ran out of the enzyme lactase out of their pancreas that breaks down milk. So Dr. Howell, back in the 1940s, discovered that there's some plants and fruits and vegetables out there that will aid in the breakdown of these proteins, of these carbs, of these fats, of these sugars. Similar, so example, papaya, pineapple, and kiwi are all fruits that will help break down protein. So you eat your chicken breast, you eat some fresh papaya with it, you're going to relieve your pancreas from having to break down that chicken breast. If you don't always carry fresh papaya and pineapple in your purse, you can also take dehydrated ones, okay? So we have ones that we highly recommend. It's called a full spectrum enzyme, but you can take it right before your meal, and it will aid in the breakdown of that meal. So here's what's going to happen. People that have not been regular going to the bathroom for years will all of a sudden be going 2 or 3 times a day, right? Which is what we should be. We should be eat, poop, poop. We really should.
Yep.
Most people are holding 8 to 10 pounds in their gut. Okay.
Yep.
So people will lose weight. I just met a gal and she goes, Crystal, I have eaten worse and I haven't exercised, which I don't recommend. But she said, and I've lost 8 pounds in like 10 days. And I said, you were just holding stuff in your gut. And I knew she was because she was not regular. She was actually going to the bathroom regularly, but it would sometimes be urgent. she could tell if she ate anything tomatoes, if she ate anything citrusy, man, she would have upset stomach. It started out by having acid reflux, and she started out getting prescribed Prilosec and taking Tums to try to stop the heartburn going on in her, which is the worst you can do. You did a great explanation about the bacteria and the good bacteria in your gut. Tums and Prilosec, they treat a symptom. They do not solve the problem. It's probably the worst thing you can do. So how do you get rid of that heartburn?
Can I add a thought to that?
Yes, go.
Sorry, because you were saying the idea of like Tums, like generally we're told to take something that is going to try and solve a problem, right? And a lot of the time we'll get onto things like antibiotics, and people don't realize that antibiotics kill both the good and the bad bacteria. Yep. So I had to throw in that note because something like Tums doesn't actually heal, correct, fix, relieve much, except for maybe it stops bubbling. But same thing with if we're prescribed any antibiotics, it kills both the good and the bad gut bacteria. And so like that's really important. Sometimes we don't even realize
I mean, try oregano oil first, right? I mean, look at a natural source first. If you have to be I'm grateful for Western medicine when we need it. But I think we are taking it so early that we're treating a symptom and then all of a sudden it causes something else, and then we have to treat another symptom and it causes something else. So if we can just go back to nature, which is what we're talking about, fresh fruits and vegetables and plants. I would love for all of you to see a demo. If you haven't seen this demo, we call it the pudding demo. Please reach out to Brittany. She's going to send you a short video clip and just say, hey, I'm interested in seeing the demo. And I want to show you, this is science. I'm going to show you what these dehydrated enzymes like pineapple, like different things like that, sprinkled in will help break down dairy and break down gluten and break down all these foods that's going to aid in the digestion of your body. I want to tell you one other thing. Cholesterol crystals in the blood. Now, cholesterol can be caused by many different things. You can have stress, which creates an overactive liver, which dumps cholesterol. It can be hereditary. It can be because you're not breaking down sugars, right? But cholesterol crystals can be broken down by plant enzymes. So my mom has had the same doctor for a long time. She's always struggled with high cholesterol. And she went to the doctor and they were about to put her on a statin drug. And she said she tried diet, she tried exercise, she tried all these things. And I met Tylene Loomer, who's been educating in this space for 20 plus years. I've been educating for about 2. And she said, but when I dive in, just like Brittany, I'm like, get me some research. By the way, Brittany was like, I'm going to first see if I resonate with it, and then I'm going to find the science behind it, and then I'll teach it. So Brittany and I have been communicating for months now, and she's done her research. Please ask her for what she recommends, especially if you're having any sort of issue. But my mom's cholesterol, I started feeding her these plant-based enzymes, and within about 4 months, she was down 48 points. And I love that. I don't love that she had high cholesterol, but I love that I can actually show. I've worked with plenty of people with those issues, but you can show before and after. Inflammation levels down. So enzymes, real good. Not all enzymes are created equal, by the way. So you've got to know what you're treating, and you've got to get the right enzyme for that. Please do not take an enzyme from an animal. A lot of times those are prescribed because they actually will take the enzymes out of an animal pancreas and give it to humans. And it may work to break down the food, but it actually will stop your pancreas from producing more. So we want to use plant-based enzymes that break down the food but don't mimic your pancreatic enzymes, because we want your pancreas to be full and healthy and still create those enzymes. So there's a lot of science behind it, you guys. We just wanted to jump on, or I wanted to jump on and just tell you how life you can live a great life if you're healthier and if your gut's really healthy. Your brain will operate better. You actually have more brain cells in your gut than you do in your brain. Interesting, huh?
Yes.
So, and although we're going to work on helping people change their diet, we do believe in diet and exercise wholeheartedly. We just know that people won't fully change most of the time, and habits are hard to break.
They need help.
They have to get some plant enzymes in their life, and we can work on the other stuff. So
Exactly. And I want to add here, there's also a question, Rachel, I'm going to get to your question in a second. But a big part of this for me too is that we're working with the whole food plant-based component of this. That's just going to help our body do what God made it to do.
Yes.
And also, just like what you said, like I have tons and tons of clients who are on the path, but it takes a while to learn how to do it, how to get the workflow, how to make the foods, how to keep it healthy, what do I eat? There's so many questions. And I feel like in the process of all the questions, we need something that's going to help us right where we are right now. And that's why I love enzymes, because it helps you right where you are right now. So that if even you are going to have not the healthiest meal possible, at least the enzyme will help you to help yourself to break down what you need and get the nutrients, eliminate what isn't working. It's profound. And so the question that I wanted to kind of touch upon here was Rachel's. Now, it's all the way up, Rachel. I can't find it right now. But she said something that, she's like, well, what if I poop too much, right? Because we were talking about being constipated, not being able to poop, going once a week, which I know a lot of people who do. But what about people who go all the time and they're too regular?
Yeah, okay.
So let's touch upon that.
Yes, okay. So this was my husband. This is why we dove down this journey.
Exactly.
He had an IBS. He had ulcerative colitis, or UC. And it was very urgent. And he was going, in his bad time, he was going 18 times a day. Okay, we couldn't even go to a ballpark because he was scared he couldn't get to the bathroom soon enough. It was debilitating. So for people that have urgency and are not forming a solid stool, so what's happening typically is the colon is inflamed. And when the colon gets inflamed and it feels like something might get stuck, if you stop digesting, if the colon gets stopped up, you die, right? The food will poison your body. So the colon's job is to get the food out of the body. So urgency or going too much, it's usually the colon is inflamed. Okay, so we've got to talk about inflammation, which is a whole other topic, but we've got some natural remedies for that, along with enzymes. But the colon will actually start pushing, like as quick as it can, things will just go right through them. And then they usually will lose a lot of weight because they're not sucking up nutrients. So we've got to deal with the inflammation. We've got to relieve the body of having to digest, right? That's why juicing works so much, is juicing strips everything out. And I don't think juicing permanently, I truly don't think is the answer. I also think there's a lot of sugars in juices that we don't need. But it relieves the body of digestion. And so the body can actually use that energy to start healing. So digestive enzymes or food enzymes can do the same thing. They can relieve the body of digestion so the body can actually use energy to heal. And then we've got to treat the colon of the inflammation. Okay, so there's a proteolytic enzyme mix. Is a product called Restore that I would recommend for that. It's a proteolytic enzyme mixed with turmeric and curcumin. And it is unbelievable on inflammation. Any type of inflammation, even like back pain, but really good for that situation. And then full spectrum enzyme will actually help break down the food so the person's actually getting nutrients. Like for my husband who was malnourished because he was eating a ton, it just was going right through him. So Rachel, let's take that. We can take this offline and do a private message with Rachel.
Yeah, and she asked for the pudding demo too. Perfect. So we'll do that. Maybe I'll connect to you guys in a message or something. Good. I love Rachel.
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Awesome. Well,
hello everybody who stayed with us and just popped in.
A lot of poop talk. It's so important. It's so important, you guys.
I know. I want to whip out a book. Can I do that? Because it's right here.
And can I just first say thank you? Brittany has just joined us in our mission to educate about really whole foods and enzymes. I believe if we had enzymes commercials like we had pharma commercials, this world would be a different place. We are right now currently the sickest generation this country's ever seen. We have more digestive issues and gout and arthritis than ever before. Our brain function is at an all-time low. We have more people on anti-anxiety medicine. We have more people on antidepressants, ADD, ADHD, you name it. We are messed up. And it's not only our food. I believe there's environmental issues and a lot of stuff going on. But it's time to take that into your own hands. And that's why we're so passionate about educating you guys. We have changed so many lives with this education. And we could go on all day, but we won't. So Brittany, first of all, thank you for coming on board and helping us educate. And
absolutely,
she's here to help you all.
Absolutely. I totally am. So if you guys have any more questions after this, feel free to ask me. I already see some people ask for the pudding demo. I will definitely send that your way. I would love to dive into any topic that you are struggling with and want more information on. I'm here for you. I love you guys. So reach out.
What's your book? What's your book?
Oh, ready? It's not a pretty book, you guys. Like if you actually open it, you'll see nasty pictures, but that's not the point. It's called Dr. Jensen's Guide to Better Bowel Care. And it literally talks about the process of like why your poop is so important, what it looks like, what it smells like, all these nasty things.
Important.
But it's so important.
Yep.
It's really important. It literally tells you what's going on inside, and then we can help diagnose from there. And it's like, this is another life-changing book.
Yep.
So like I highly, highly recommend this. I'll do another whole talk on poop at some point, I'm sure.
Yep.
And I would love to do more talks with you too, Crystal. We
All
can just
right.
talk forever.
I know.
This is amazing.
You guys have an amazing, amazing, blessed day. And
Yes.
I'm going to pop off and get on an airplane, Brittany, but we'll talk soon and connect me with anyone that needs help, and we will get them the right people.
Sounds amazing, Crystal. Enjoy your flight.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to your family for me, and have so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everyone.